It's a cold February morning. You wake up excited and bound out of bed. You wake up your little brother and run into your mom's room, leaping onto the bed eagerly as she stirs, opening her eyes to look at you. It's today! It's today! You cry excitedly. It's finally here. And after what feels like an eternity, you put on your winter coat and your boots and you help your little brother with his and pile into the 1998 Honda Civic. It rumbles unconvincingly to a start, and then your mom blasts the heater to defrost the windows. And then she drives, and drives, and drives some more. Hours later, you see it in the distance. It's pretty big and scary looking. The fences are high with barbed wire that seem more meant to keep people out than in. Your mother parks the car, and you excitedly jump out. Once you get inside the complex, you realize that it's a hard and cold and unwelcoming place. Your mother tells you you're going to have to wait for a while before it's your turn. And so you wait, and wait, and wait some more. And eventually it happens, but it's nothing like you imagined. Instead of running to your daddy and having him scoop you up into his arms and spin you around like he always does at home, your mom holds your hand tightly as your daddy is escorted to you by a guard. You're told you can give your daddy a quick hug and a kiss before you sit on the chair across from him. The hug is too short and you're left wanting more. Your daddy looks worn and tired, but he smiles at you from across the gap that seems to you as wide as the Grand Canyon, and you smile back. Because after all, this is your daddy. Even though he had to go away for a while because he did a bad thing, and now you only get to see him once, maybe twice a year, he's still your daddy. No, that wasn't a real story. But it might as well have been, because for 1 in 43 children in the United States, the experience of their parent being in prison or jail is very, very real. For the record, that works out to about 1 child in every other American classroom. And we're learning now that those numbers are likely woeful underestimates. In fact, recent research in Minnesota found that 1 in 6 children have a parent who is either currently or was formerly incarcerated. 1 in 6. To put this in the context of M&Ms, because that's what I happen to have in my office at the moment, that's all of the blue M&Ms in this photo. We also know that having an incarcerated parent can create many challenges for children. Many children who have a parent in prison or jail face social, emotional, and behavioral difficulties, especially if the incarcerated parent is the primary caregiver. And many children witness their parents' crime or arrest, both of which can be highly stressful experiences. And when an incarcerated parent is the primary financial provider of the family, children can experience the burden of that financial strain as well. Now, visiting parents who are incarcerated can also be straining. As the story I just shared earlier shows, issues of distance, reliable transportation, and non-family friendly environments can make visiting a parent who's incarcerated a very stressful experience. And what about women who are pregnant when they go to prison? Well, in 29 states in the U.S., women may be shackled as they are transported to and from the hospital, and in some cases, even when they are in active labor. After 2 to 3 days in the hospital, their babies are taken from them, and usually placed in the care of a family member. And then the mothers must return to the prison to serve the rest of their sentence. Now, I'm not saying that people should not have to face consequences for their actions, or that people who commit crimes should roam free. What I'm saying is that we could do better to consider the effects of incarceration on the children who are left behind, and figure out better ways to promote their health and well-being. I want us to stop punishing the children for the sins and mistakes of their parents. Luckily, there are people like my good friend and colleague, Dr. Rebecca Schlafer, who are tackling this issue head-on with other smart and capable partners from across the country to improve the lives for children with incarcerated parents. I'll get more into a lot of her other incredible work in future videos, and hopefully she'll agree to come and talk about it herself. But for now, I'll share what she said at an event we attended last night. If you learned something new, or if something I've said shocked you or surprised you, I'd encourage you to share what you've heard with one person in your personal or professional life. This is not a topic that gets much attention in the public sphere, but it should. Because incarceration does not just cost money and decrease the nation's workforce, it's affecting our families and our children. End screen. What are you left wondering about parental incarceration after this video? Leave your questions and comments, and either I or someone way more well-versed in this topic will answer them. I'll also put links below to a bunch of resources and places to find information about incarceration, as well as some really exciting and innovative programs that are happening across the country to address this issue. And again, I'd ask that you please consider sharing about this topic with people you know. Change starts with awareness.